Hi guys, my name is Abhi Shamsundar. I'm one of the product managers here at Mist, a Juniper company. I'm here to talk about AI-driven WAN. I'm really excited about introducing the AI-driven WAN to the community. One of the most important strengths Juniper has always had is about how we've had a rich legacy with secure routers, with the SRX portfolio. We moved it to the SD-WAN solution with full-blown policy orchestration, and as well as the security integrated well within. Now comes the transformation into AI. You've seen the theme of things that we've been speaking about every time. All of the aspects that we've spoken about since the start of this presentation, beginning from wired assurance as well as wireless assurance, all of them had a common theme. One, to be able to very simply give you the information that you need to troubleshoot an issue, as well as being able to constantly have that focus on the end client. And we will continue to bring exactly same aspects to the AI-driven WAN as well. If you followed our journey with wired assurance as to how we integrated the EX devices, we started off with assurance. We're doing exact same processes here with the SRX portfolio as well. As we've always known, for us to give you the right amount of assurance, we need the right kind of data. And that is what you see on your right-hand side. We have open APIs wherein we are using that for us to get information from the SRX in the form of telemetry data. And then use this data to have MARVIS answer some of the most important questions for you. Why is the application that is running on my network having an impact? Also, is there a bad WAN circuit, or how is the wired and wireless clients that are connecting and passing through the same WAN, are they affected by something that is happening on the wireless network? Are they affected by something connected on the wired network? Or is it connected? Is it eventually the WAN that is at fault? Being able to determine these three were our primary goals when we started off with the AI-driven WAN story. As a customary, we started off with the service level expectations. That is our one place for us to have a fine comb to see if you have issues, and within a couple of clicks to look at where exactly the issues are on your network. We also help you correlate all the different events that happened on your network to your service level expectations as to if there is a glitch in your client experience, what among these events also correlate to them. So bringing them all together in one single space is the goal for the AI-driven WAN. Eventually, giving you evidence and not just telling you that there was a problem is the goal for the insights. So all of the insight story that we have seen from the wireless, where you click on to get further packet captures, from the wired, where you saw further details on port errors, will continue to happen on the WAN side as well. So we have the data, we give you a distilled information of where the issue is, and also give you evidence in the form of WAN insights to tell you where the problem is. All of this that we have been talking about up until now has always, again, with the primary focus on why is my application experience bad, or why is my end client user experience bad. And that's the most important part that we will address as a part of the story. We have telemetry from wireless, we have telemetry from wired, and now we also have telemetry from the SRX. A simple example displayed here, a user trying to have a Zoom call like the one we are on right now. If there is a problem in the network, can we answer the question, at what point was the problem and how do I fix this? And that is the goal of this entire journey. There is wireless networks involved. There's your wired networking involved in between, eventually the WAN. And how can we actually address this question is where we are going towards. So I will show you examples as we go along as to how we've been able to solve this problem and give you precisely where to look at. Let's look at a quick journey of how you're able to look at the WAN story today. A common theme, you have the SLE framework. We have 3 SLEs listed: the gateway health, the WAN link health, as well as the application. All of these SLEs are correspondingly, the service level expectations correspondingly have a classifier alongside them. For example, the WAN link SLE we've classified what brings about classifiers? Classifiers are our primary motto to tell you if you have a problem in your WAN link health, what are these different aspects that affect, and hence they become the classifiers. Being able to tell you that there was latency and there was this amount of jitter exactly at these periods of time, giving you a timeline representation of where your issues were, as well as where exactly, what exactly were the clients that were affected because of this. So we have flow data to tell you exactly what applications / what devices were working, having issues, and also on an SRX basis, which interface had the problem. This is my home SRX. It's a simple one interface going out, but there's a ton of events that actually I can get and correlate from every single device perspective. As any management platform, we'd like to give you application visibility, because we want the flow data to tell you exactly which flows were affected because of a particular of any particular classifiers that we had. So this is the insights page where we are telling about. We not only just tell you where the problem is, we are also going to continue to talk about the evidences in the insights page. Having said that, I think for all of the issues that we bring about in the form of SLEs, they all again fall under the bucket of MARVIS for us to be able to ask questions and be able to get convincing answers along with evidence for it. And that's where MARVIS comes into picture. MARVIS is our single point of contact for us to see if there is a problem in the network. The way we started off this journey for us to come this far is we started off with good data. All the way back in 2015-16 timeframe, we started off with getting good data. And that is where, again, telemetry from the wireless access points, the switches, and now the SRXs play a key role. We converted them into what we call as AI primitives in the form of SLEs, which I just spoke about. And then we put together a data science toolbox. What we are moving towards next is for you to be able to have a conversation with MARVIS to say, hey, are there any problems? I think one of the most important pieces you will probably appreciate is being able to not only converse and solve problems right away. And I think we will definitely showcase how conversational interface comes into picture alongside the self-driving actions that also are a part of our journey now. So we've started with the journey of virtual network assistant. We provided you for us to give you an organizational level view of you, for us to be able to say either hey, what is the problem in my particular site, or what is the which sites have been doing badly all along. We bring about one of the most important things, at least as an administrator, to see quickly and say, in your particular network, the associations are okay, or your DHCP, DNS are okay. We just go through the stack through which every client goes through, going through association, getting an IP, how is the RF doing from a wireless perspective, how's the AP doing from your perspective, and all that in a quick blob right for you up on the top. Now, if you'd like to look further, definitely an option for us to look further as well, for us to see where exactly are the problems that we are listing. Now, what is wrong with a particular site is one example, but you may also want to see what exactly is the problem with a particular client. Or if you'd like to see how many users on this particular site are having a bad day. In this example, my Raspberry Pi apparently is seeming to have a pretty bad day in terms of being able to connect to the network. In fact, we go about telling you, saying where exactly the failure was, what is the root cause of the failure is, especially for help desk kind of scenario. I think this is a huge help. You don't need every ticket to be coming to your L3 desk, wherein if you could troubleshoot something that could say it's probably a problem with a client that is trying to connect, has a bad certificate or a bad password, it's so much more easier for you to just convey the same immediately. But you have now, in this particular example, we're telling you that this problem is client specific. It's not widely affecting every other client. where this happened, and the most important part is the client still failing or not. That we bring about in right here. So you want to see why exactly there is a failure, and you want to again go back and see the information and the evidence to tell me exactly where the problems are. We tell you how your connections are with respect to every other device by also doing comparisons. But my favorite of all of them, as Stephen was showing as well, is evidence and packet captures. Those don't lie. We can tell you that there's a problem. We can tell you where the problem is. But if you have to, like every network engineer, you want to believe, but also you want to trust, but you want to verify. That's where the packet captures come into picture. So that was VNA, us being able to ask simple questions to MARVIS virtual network assistant. We also took the story further ahead for us to define exactly the actions that you as an administrator can take. Every morning that you come in, you want to look at what exactly are the problems on your network. And you want to see if there is something that I can immediately address. And that was our intention behind MARVIS Actions. MARVIS Actions is one common frame where you can look at all the problems that are plaguing your network, be it from the wired world, WAN world, AP, and further within the AP, there is authentication issues. For example, in this case, we are seeing .1x failures, and we are seeing we are able to see that there is continuous failure going on. We're able to also tell you there is something anomalous in this case. What we did here is what in data science term is called as scope analysis. If your clients are failing, if it's just one client that's failing, that is probably an issue with the client. If all the clients connected to one particular switch or an AP is failing, then it also actually says if everybody else is passing, maybe your AP is not added as a NAS client, maybe your switch is not added as a NAS client, and we bring that about to you. Similarly, you take it one step further. If all clients in your network across all APs are failing, it probably means your radio server is at lunch. So that kind of scope analysis to tell you as an administrator where to look at. Are you looking at the radio server? Are you looking at the client or at the AP? Is what is key from the actions perspective to tell you where the problem is. And we also give you a reasonable verbiage in there to see the following radio servers are not responding. Please check if they're online and reachable. I think that is powerful as a network administrator to look at and see where the problem is instead of having to hunt and peck to go around a particular problem. Excuse me. Having said that, there is more that we actually do it with MARVIS Actions. If you say you resolved a problem, we go back and validate it as well. We say if we go back and AI validate a particular problem, you look at anomaly. We also look at if there is a problem further and if you've resolved it. And those single line statements right there is what is actually key for you to look at in there. The most important aspect, I think, from a switch as well as a gateway perspective is for us to bring about the key layer 1 and layer 2 issues that we bring about. So there are a few tentacles that are listed here. Again, in the entirety of your organization, you just have 7 actions to look at. And that is what is, I think that is what is powerful about this particular screen. Your organization, Juniper Networks, has close to 30,000 ports of all the switches that are on the network. And amongst them, we identified 30 bad cables. And that is the power of the MARVIS Actions framework right here. This one framework for us to not inundate you with alerts after alerts or issues after issues, being able to tell you these are issues that you can take actions on is what our end goal was. Here in this example, you're able to see that 2 APs are missing VLANs that need to be on the switch side. So if the switch already is not provisioned with the VLAN that is required for a device to work, for an AP to actually communicate successfully, if you have 5 SSIDs having 5 VLANs and you don't have those VLANs plumbed on your switch, you're going to end up black holing those. But we are able to automatically tell you that these are the switches, and these are the ports where the configs are missing. And again, actionable because the administrator can take this data and configure those and solve them right away. Bad cables, you open a ticket, get those bad cables replaced. And similarly, if you have a negotiation mismatch or even an MTU mismatch, we are able to identify that automatically for you. MTU mismatch especially is extremely catastrophic in a layer 2 network because it stops passing traffic on. Even in a WAN situation, especially if you have certs passing through, which are higher than the basic MTU, you will see your authorizations failing, and you will never know until you actually troubleshoot the entire stack. But our goal was not to was to bring about important issues that plague your network today and be able to solve that as we go along. And especially for clients that do not actually have an aspect of, if there are clients that are headless and are not able to open tickets for you, and these are places where, MGig ports especially, they don't negotiate well with older clients. We tell you that there's a problem with negotiation, so you can actually go back and hard code your speed and duplex on those devices so that they get the best of experiences. Again, theme, as I continue to go about all of these MARVIS stories, is to say that our goal has always been to tell you that we bring about issues that are important, for a particular client's experience. Now, we spoke about dashboards, we spoke about CLI. We want to show you what's next, the conversational interface. That is where we want you to be able to interact with the dashboard and solve a lot of your current problems on the network. Let's look at a few things that probably are very important from a conversation perspective. As soon as you click on the conversational interface, it'll already show you what problems are there on your network. We clicked on what APs are actually having problems. I think one important aspect that we bring about, if you see this right here, we tell you that we have a bug. We tell you we resolved it as well. And we tell you that your particular infrastructure is probably facing this particular issue right now. It is actually useful for you to go ahead and upgrade that. If you'd like for us to upgrade it, you can say yes, and we will upgrade that access point for you automatically. So we internally on the back end are able to actually go through issues on your network and being able to tell you if there are bugs, you need to be able to upgrade. So your, again, client experience is better. So upgrade is going through as you speak along, as you said, yes. Now you can go look at, your APs in your network. Our APs take, seconds to upgrade. You can see that that particular device is now upgraded to the version that has a fix for that bug. So conversational interface can be multifold. It can be used for multifold to find out what the client experience is like. You can tell your client's not working, even if there are spelling errors. We understand what you're saying. You can choose the client of your choice, and you can see again go back to the same troubleshooting aspects to see if your client is doing okay. If your client is doing okay, or if you don't, we'll be able to tell you where the errors are. We tell you in this particular case your DHCP pool is exhausted. Again, issues that are beyond the network that is there as well, we still identify because of heuristics that we collect. Again, AI is nothing but being able to take out the mundane tasks that you have, give you answers so that you can actually engage in harder tasks that you need to. And here is an example, again, giving you evidence of client insights. If you don't find any of this helpful, if you think you still need help, all you would say is, no, this is not useful. We'll tell you if you'd like us to open a ticket for you on your behalf. Yes, you can, and there'll be a ticket open for you, and with all the details that you just spoke about right here. So we don't come back and ask you, hey, can you please tell me what version of what version are you running on your access point versus on your controller or on your switch? But we tell you that we as a support team we'll have the information already, and we'll directly come to exactly the point where the problem is without having to answer questions that are trivial. And that is the power of conversational interface. So we spoke a few things about a conversational interface. You saw a few things. We are able to collect telemetry. We're telling you that there are issues. But I think when you think about a complex problem, I spoke about how you'll have to have, how we are able to answer a question, the most important question, why is my call experience bad? There are so many vertices that are connected for us to answer this particular question. One, being able to say your particular Zoom or your Teams call going from as an application on your phone or your computer, going through wireless, hitting the AP, hitting the wired network, hitting the firewall, and eventually getting out to wherever your data center is. Now, all of that has multiple aspects to each of them. In the wireless world, it could be the AP capacity, it could be RSSI, where the client is at, it could be many things. Similarly, on the wired network, it could be many other aspects which we just discussed in when Sujit presented. Similarly, at the firewall or your SDN level, you still have many issues that we just spoke about in the AI-driven WAN aspect. Now, bring this all together. There are so many vertices for us to look at in a graph database. But now we are using temporal correlation for us to bring about all these different entities to bring you the answer for the question that you're looking for. Why is my Zoom call bad? Why is my Teams experience bad? Is right here. Again, let's talk to MARVIS or Conversational Interface. You just ask, why is my Teams call bad? We automatically recognize all the flows that has happened, and you choose the call that was bad. Now, here's where I want to quickly talk about the most important thing. If you see, we actually automatically determined what path the device took to get out of the network. It went to through my MacBook, going to my AP, my office that is here, on the SSID called MISTROX. Which is connected to gig 002 on my EX switch, eventually getting out of the firewall in this format. That was the graph database we were talking about. We put all of this information together and correlated two issues right here. One, there was obviously latency on my firewall, as well as my AP had interference. But we indicated with orange and red that the interference was not as bad as the latency itself on the SRXs, and hence we're bringing about one simple ask from you from the conversational interface to say, why was my Teams call bad? We are giving you the entire graph database, and you can actually troubleshoot where the exact issue was, and hopefully that is where everyone here wants to get to, not only create the most amazing protocols, but also to be able to make this simple for us to troubleshoot as we get along. And that is where the aspect of the AI comes in. Again, I want to quickly summarize everything that we spoke about in these slides. We spoke about the different pieces that are involved. So we always have events or data that comes into the network. We have the pre-connection issues, post-connection issues, be it DNS, DHCP, ARP, from a client's perspective. From an AP perspective, you have your AP health, you have your radio health, you have pre-connection and post-connection issues there. From the switch, you have many issues that we spoke about, cable issues, missing VLAN, if there's congestion on your network. All of that is also, again, an event that comes through to us. Now, what do we tell you? Well, there are two aspects that we showed to you today. One, a proactive way where self-driving, Stephen spoke about RRM. We spoke about firmware upgrades and automatically telling you that your AP is bad. You could RMA, we could actually come to you and say, your APs are bad. We would like to RMA your devices. That is the proactive nature that is involved from our perspective. That is the self-driving piece that we bring in. And also there is reactive. We also gave you the aspects to say there was an issue, ask conversational interface as to what the issue was, and it telling you where the issue occurred. And that's the reactive space. So our goal for us was to leave you with actions, proactive, that we can take care of automatically, as well as reactive, that you can actually go and troubleshoot quickly without having to hunt and pick through hundreds of different devices all along. And that's the summary slide for us to say, we have events, we convert them into actions and bring it about to you. And that's why we wanted to discuss this. So we've spoken about everything MARVIS does, but MARVIS does for you. But how do we use MARVIS? Our support team uses MARVIS on every single ticket that comes in, be it wired, wireless, any of those pieces. For amongst all the tickets that have come in, we've been clocking close to a 70% mark of having MARVIS having data or MARVIS answering completely. MARVIS answering completely, as you can see, is also on the higher side. That means majority of the issues that are coming to us, either in the form of questions, either in the form of actual troubleshooting tickets, we have the answers with MARVIS, and we utilize that to provide answers to MARVIS. We'll want to also leave you with one important stat as to why MARVIS is real. We've had, ever since last July, the acquisition and post-acquisition, we've had 200% in growth in the number of organizations that we support, 280% growth in the number of devices that we manage, be it APs and switches. But as you can see, the number of tickets have declined. And this is not just a mere coincidence, but it is also thanks to a lot of effort that we put into getting MARVIS being able to answer questions for the end user as an administrator, as well as us making this better and making the proactive actions or the self-driving actions better every day. And that's where we want to leave that message we want to leave with you, saying it is actually real that we are using our own AI to make our lives better in here.